Hello there, my name's Avery. I'm the head chef here at Zagame's in Ballarat. Been here for about approximately 8 years, and today I'm going to show you my chicken bacarm with roasted potatoes, roast carrots and green beans. This is my take on a traditional chicken Kiev, which is essentially a crumbed chicken breast stuffed with flavoured butter. Okay, so I've browned off the chopped up garlic in just some butter in a pan, just till it's nice and golden. It's released all the flavours, get a little bit of sweetness out of it. So we're just going to pour that into the softened butter, which has just been softened at room temperature. Just going to combine all this together. Set it in a bowl, put it in the cool room just to harden up slightly, so when I'm filling up the chicken it's a lot easier to work with. Okay, so now we're up to the breadcrumbs. I've got some fresh bread here that's been left out for a couple of days just to stale it up, and I'm just going to tear it up and put it into the Roboku. So just roughly tear it up, doesn't matter. So that's all in there. Get it the right way. Now I'm just going to blitz it slowly, just to break it all up. Because it's fresh and it's got moisture in it, I do not want it to ball up into one big ball, so that's why I'm doing it slowly. Okay, so there we have all fresh breadcrumbs. So there. Now also I have some dried breadcrumbs. These are called Japanese breadcrumbs. They're a lot bigger than the normal fine breadcrumbs. So we'll just put that in there. Give it a mix. And there you go. Okay, so we've got our breadcrumb mix, and now I'm going to add all the seasonings and the flavours to it. So I just have some fine diced bacon here. Just place that in there. You don't have to cook it because it cooks in the oven, gets nicely cooked. Some Parmesan cheese, I have some parsley and some basil. Just going to rough chop them up together. It doesn't have to be fine, just rough chop it, because when the end product comes out you want to see all those greenness. There we go, it's in there. I'm just going to season it a little bit of salt, more salt, a bit of cracked pepper, just mix it through. So as you can see, the green, the brown of the bacon and the end product is just going to be really nice to look at. Okay, so I've got my two breasts here. They're approximately 200 grams each. We've left the tender on. Now, as with all breasts, if you see a little bit of blood vein there, you just need to cut that off. And also at the joint where the knuckle of the leg is, if you see just a little bit of cartilage there, I recommend that you just trim that out. That's essentially that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an incision into the centre of the breast, coming from the top into the thicker part of the breast. The reason being is that we're adding butter, oil, to in the middle of the breast. It's going to keep the texture of the inside of the breast moist when it cooks, because it is renowned to dry out. So just coming in from the angle here on the top, just one nice big cut. Don't cut all the way through, or else you'll have holes everywhere and the butter will just leak. So that's one. Do this other one. Here we go. Now this is my garlic butter that we prepared before. Now, you can either do it in a spoon or get your hands dirty, that's okay. But I'm just going to roll it into a little ball. Maybe that's a bit too big. And then it is a little bit messy, but you're getting all that lovely garlic butter into the middle of the breast. A bit more. So that's done. Now with the incision, you just need to close it up as much as you can. Don't worry about it too much, because when it crumbs, the crumbing is going to actually seal the cut. First of all, we need to grease our pan. I've just got some olive oil. I'm just going to lightly brush the pan. So that's done. Now with crumbing, as you know, it is a messy job. Usually when you're crumbing, you'll end up with crumbing all over your hands. So just, you got that, then you got the flour, and then you got the breadcrumbs. So usually when you're crumbing food, you're going to end up with your hand covered in breadcrumbs, and you don't want to do that because you're not cooking your hand. So I'm going to show you a way of how to circumvent that, and it'll be a less messier job. Down to the crumbing. As before I showed you, we showed you the messy way. I'm going to show you a little tip that will give you a less messier way to crumb your chicken. So we've got our flour here, we've got an egg wash, which is just some eggs and milk and seasoning, just whisked together, and then we've got the breadcrumbs mixture which we showed before. So pick your breast up in your left hand, place it in the flour, turn around to your right hand. I'm just lightly covering it, so evenly all over the breast. Shake it off a little bit. I'm going to place it into the egg wash. Notice I haven't got my hand wet. Now back to the left hand, just using that just to lightly coat it in the egg wash. Pick it up, just let all the excess drain off. And into the breadcrumbs, using the opposite hand again. I'm just going to be gentle with it. The breadcrumbs, because there's a lot of moisture in it, it's going to stick extremely well to the breast. Just make sure there's plenty of coverage over it. And there we go, there's the end product. Into the oiled baking tray, and we'll place it in the oven for 20 minutes at 180 degrees to cook. Okay, so I've boiled some water with some salt. Once it's to the boil, I've let it simmer. Then I've placed my pre-cut Desiree potatoes that I've cut into wedges just in there for 3 to 5 minutes, just to blanch them off, get them pre-cooking before they're roasting. So just lift them out, just onto some baking dry paper. Because we're roasting them, we want to just remove a lot of this water. And just let it dry. So then we put into our baking tray. Just a brushing of olive oil, just enough to coat them. Salt, pepper, just mix them through. Now the reason why I've parboiled the potatoes before roasting them is that once they've roasted, at the end product is going to be a more fluffier roast potato. And into the oven. So the beans have been in there for 2 or 3 minutes, just to lightly cook through. You want a little bit of crunch in your beans. So we're just lifting them out, just give it a bit of a tap, get rid of excess water. Just into a pan with a little bit of butter, which I've already melted. Turn that off. Okay folks, so here we have the components of the dish. We have the chicken bacarm straight out of the oven. As you can see, it's goldened up nicely, the bacon is crisp, and you can see the fresh basil and parsley through it. We have our buttered beans and carrots here, and our roasted potatoes. See the crispness of the potatoes as a result of it being parboiled, it helps with the crispness. So to plate up, I'm just going to place some potatoes just in the middle of the plate. I'm going to grab some of the carrots. What you're doing is you're just creating a bed for the bacarm to sit on. So there we go, and now we'll just get the bacarm out of the tray. Straight on top. Clean your plates up. Now, in the bottom of the baking tray there's a little bit of the garlic butter that's oozed out of the chicken, so we're just going to grab some of that, just pour it over the top, and ultimately that's your final sauce.
Everybody loves